Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Non Sequitur Nerds, where tonight we're going to answer the question: if all of Wolverine's bones are adamantium, why aren't his teeth? We're, a little bit of a weirdness, but we're talking about powers that are not utilized to their fullest or just bizarre. But, as always, though, I'm Tim, joined by my buddy Ian. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, we're going really well right now. Today, kind of capping off a bit of a hectic week for me. It was my daughter's birthday, so was spending time with the kiddos, and then had a birthday party today. So I'm just like socialed out right now.
Dude,
Many kids.
Kids' birthday parties are the worst. Those things, it's just chaos nonstop. Nonstop.
Yeah, my son, my oldest, when he was in preschool or pre-K or something like that, we did a birthday party here at my house, and we told him like, hey, you can invite who you want to. Well, he invited most of his preschool class, so I think I had like 25 kids.
Oh my
plus
god.
adults,
Oh my god.
plus adults here at my house, and after that, my ex-wife and I were, my wife at the time, kind of like after everybody left and whatnot, we kind of looked at each other and said, no more than 10 anymore. Like moving forward, that is the limit.
25.
And even
kids.
10 is just like,
yeah, that's a lot of kids either way. I mean, even the kids that we each have sometimes are too much.
yeah, definitely.
Man.
But how was your week?
I mean, not too bad. We're finally back to the grind after unexpectedly being off a little longer than what we were originally anticipating. Yay, the joys of the RV industry right now. It is an unpredictable time. But apart from that, I mean, it wasn't bad. Everything was smooth going there. Yeah, it wasn't too bad all in all. But this end of the week has been a nice, relaxing ending to it, though. I will say that. So.
Oh, good. Glad to hear that.
Me too.
Moving away from the mundane, boring crap, which is talking about ourselves, and we're actually going to talk about, some superpower type stuff. So my mind works in mysterious ways, and I was kind of thinking about random things the other day, and basically, like, I'm a walking shower thought.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, so it's just, sometimes it's just completely random and out of the blue. I'm just like, I wonder about that. But anyway, one of the things that I had thought about that prompted this episode was, Magneto really underutilizes his powers. Obviously, he's the master of magnetism. He can control everything, including the magnetosphere around the Earth.
Right.
A la Ultimate's universe. But he doesn't like. Why doesn't he just walk around with a satchel of razor blades and just like knives? Just
Suddenly,
knives. Yes, just suddenly knives. Like, and turn someone into like just
puree.
Puree. I mean, he is shown to have a very malicious streak to him. So, like,
yeah.
Why doesn't he just like, all right, cool. Well, razor blade him to death.
Right.
Like,
well, I mean, he ripped out Wolverine, the adamantium off of Wolverine's skeleton. It wouldn't take much for him to levitate some razor blades just constantly spinning around him.
Yeah, I mean, he could even be just like a complete dick and like tighten somebody's belt.
Just you have been inconvenienced.
Right, just like, when Magneto is a teenager, like he's walking around like undoing everybody's fly. It's such an opportunity that you could just think about, like, some of the weird stuff that he had the ability to do. Or, one of the other ones that I had mentioned to you was, how did Charles Xavier get all his money? For a fact that dude's like playing the lottery.
The numbers this week.
Right. He's a psychic, like he's a telepath, obviously, so he can read minds. Yep. But he could very easily just be like, "All right, I'm going to implant the suggestion in the gaming commission's head that the numbers will be."
I say, or even one step further. I mean, you've seen him affect like swaths of people. Just hop in a Cerebro and go, "No one else buy the Mega Millions ticket this week."
Right.
Exactly. Well, I mean, like I think that, like, in all seriousness, I think they explained, like, he comes from money, but like, he had custom built a frickin' Blackbird jet. He has the mansion, which, okay, we'll say the mansion's paid off. It's a family thing. It's paid off. The property's paid off. You still have property taxes. You still have utilities. Well, I mean, how many times have they had to rebuild that? Okay, insurance covers that. All right, but there's still those long-term things, like how much are their utilities having to heat, cool, run water, run electricity? And you know what it probably is? They go, oh, we don't need water, we have a mutant for that. Oh, we don't need electricity, we have a mutant for that. So, okay, so now it's slavery. All right, Charles.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing I brought up at the top of the show in the intro about Wolverine's teeth not being adamantium, that actually recently got brought up in a comic where he had to team up with Deadpool. And as they're walking around, Deadpool, like, I've always wondered, your teeth are basically bones. I mean, they're even connected directly to your skull. Why aren't they adamantium? But before Wolverine can answer, he gets yanked through the wall by somebody. But yeah, I mean, that's one thing that, like, now that thought is in my head, I'm like, why aren't his teeth adamantium? I mean, because think about it. Yeah, he's got the razor sharp claws, which those can do a lot. He's got the unbreakable bones. He can headbutt somebody and shatter their skull. He can elbow them, knee them, whatever. But you hit him in the jaw, and they're gonna grow back. Will his teeth grow back? Because I mean, you only normally grow two pair, like your baby teeth and your adult teeth. So is he like a shark now?
Yeah, I think they actually, like, I'm pretty sure that has happened in the comic. Like, his teeth will grow.
Do they grow back as baby teeth and a new adult one grows in after that, or is it just another adult tooth?
I mean, I don't know that they've ever really explored too much of that. Like, when he was
we're getting deep here now.
Yeah, we're kind of getting a little bit off topic, but yeah, I mean, but there's other superheroes out there that I feel like could have caused a little bit more havoc, or even just been a little kind of playful. Like, as I said before, Nightcrawler. For a fact when he was a teenager, he was teleporting inside the girls' locker rooms.
Porky starring Nightcrawler.
Yeah, exactly. Like the local panty raids, it was 100% Nightcrawler.
Why that a teenager with teleportation powers? I mean, or any teenager with invisibility powers, the first thing they would do. The first thing they would do.
Especially the boys, but yes. The girls are even still kind of like Kitty Pryde. I mean, being able to flash through walls, she's stuck her head in a shower stall or three.
Oops, my bad.
Right.
They don't call him Colossus for nothing.
Right. Psst, it's not because of his Schwanzstücke.
Poor Colossus.
Yeah.
Wow, this took a turn.
Right. Well, there's even some villains out there, like Bullseye, right? Like
he would make bank at a county fair.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, and he would do it just to be an ass.
Yeah,
like,
he would.
He would go there and just clear them out for the sake of being a jerk.
No. He would go to the games he knows are rigged and win at those. He wouldn't go to the games that are actually games of skill. He would go to the ones that are impossible to win because of the way they're designed and win at them. That's what Bullseye would do. In my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. He was, he's just like one of the many villains. I mean, obviously the villains are known for their more nefarious uses of their powers. I mean, Pietro, Quicksilver, I'm sure, has also caused just general mayhem.
Ran through a school tying everybody's shoelaces together so the entire student body trips at the same time.
Right. I mean, he basically does what like Dash did in The Incredibles and puts tacks on the teacher's chair.
Yep.
It was even characters like Storm. I'm sure she
made it rain on one guy.
Right, make it rain on one guy, or oh man, I didn't want to do track and field today. Well.
Oh, shame it's a monsoon all of a sudden.
Yeah, right. Also, I mean, you'd think of like Storm's powers, like there really shouldn't be like ever a drought in anywhere anymore.
Right.
I guess that's another thing. Is like, does her powers manifest the weather, or does it just draw the weather into that area? Like, if she wants to make it rain, like, does it just materialize? Yes.
Make it rain.
That's usually only if T'Challa's there.
No, they're divorced now.
Well, yeah, I mean that was been a while.
Yeah. Well, I think it depends on the writer, because if memory serves me correctly, I've seen it both ways, where it will draw like weather systems to her, but I've also seen the flip of that, where just a weather system gets created, which from a scientific standpoint, that would cause havoc on weather systems unless she's constantly like, I know that like she is an Omega level mutant, which for anybody not familiar is, as far as like Marvel's unofficial power ranking, Omega level is like top tier.
Basically, she is a walking natural disaster.
Yes.
Like apocalyptic.
If you are an Omega, like let's say you're an Omega level mutant with speed, what that means is that your powers have the ability to alter just about anything regarding that, and you are considered the pinnacle of that power set. Storm, as an example, is an Omega level mutant with her weather manipulating powers. So I would be curious if she's aware of the weather on a global scale, because if it's a bright sunny day and you change it to be a blizzard, one, that's going to throw off all kinds of stuff, but on a larger scale, that would in my mind, affect weather patterns on a much larger scale than local plant and animal life. Going, oh crap, it's winter. Plants start dying, animals start thinking, should I be hibernating? But it's not winter. But it is winter, but it's not. But on a global scale, that would really mess up the weather system of the world. I mean, like if it's localized stuff like a rain cloud or like a couple lightning bolts, probably not. But anything big, that would lightning bolt. But I mean, on a large scale, that would really mess stuff up unless she is, like I said, globally aware of the weather and is changing weather patterns outside of what you're seeing in that frame of the comic to compensate for it. Which, if that's the case, if she's globally aware, there should be perfect weather everywhere. And why isn't Storm doing anything about global warming? I mean, she could do that by manipulating. I mean, I guess mutants have more stuff to worry about. Like, I don't know, their entire race almost getting erased constantly. No more
I mean, no, that's fair. Well, what was the one that you told me about right before we did the show? The crap, who was it? One of the mutants.
Remember.
Building something to
Forge. Okay, Forge.
Yeah, Forge.
Okay, if we're talking about powers that aren't utilized to their fullest, Forge can, and again, this has been adjusted in the comics quite a bit based on the writer, but typically Forge can create any device that he can think of as long as he knows the basics of how it should operate. Why can't he just create like a remote that shuts off every Sentinel, including master molds, mother molds, father molds, all that stuff? Just boop. All right. Problem's done. Again, writing, there needs to be conflict, but that would be something that you think would be, for somebody like that invented, I don't know, a time machine, an off button should be pretty simple.
Right. And it has nothing to do with like sentience of the Sentinels or anything like that, because they've kind of covered that a bit in the comics as well, that they're still very much robots.
Right. Well, I mean, like someone like the offshoot
Wolverine
ones
decapitates them like every other day.
Right.
So,
like, I mean, there are some offshoots like Nimrod or like some of the mainly from the future storylines that are like, there is one Sentinel that I can't remember the name of it. It may be one of the offshoots of Nimrod. I don't remember. But it effectively, like, for all sakes and purposes, is a human, but is a human Sentinel. That okay, I'll give you gray area on that one. But like any of the robotic or at the very least cybernetically based Sentinels, you think Forge would just be able to, like he just takes an old garage clicker and turns them off. That's one that like I would love to, for some of these questions we've got, I would love to be able to sit down with, like, get a panel of various comic writers and go, okay, give me an in-universe answer as to why this doesn't work. But then again, I think every comics nerd would love to be able to sit down and go, actually, in this comic it states that Wolverine's healing factor can do this. Why in issue 47 of volume 5 could Wolverine not do that? And that's exactly why most comic panels are stuck to a topic at cons and stuff. Which, speaking of cons, fun news out of the Marvel world, Disney Plus, I think today, if not today, very soon, Deadpool 1, 2, and Logan are all going to be on Disney Plus. So we're seeing more of the Fox properties finally coming home. So I'm pretty happy about that. Right.
No, that's fine. I mean, yeah. So, kind of jumping back a little bit to the previous topic, some of the superheroes and whatnot. Yeah, we obviously talked a little bit about Bullseye. I mean, then you've got like Deadshot, same kind of concept, right? Even someone like the off the line Dr. Light.
Which one are we talking about? The creepy Predator one or the newer female one?
Well, I mean, they both kind of have the same general powers.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, again, you could.
I don't think we're going to get into the controversy that is the original Dr. Light. Not a pleasant subject. I don't know why they wrote that in.
Because reasons?
Well, I mean, DC, it's one of them. DC or Marvel also had a character who was powered by cocaine.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Snowblind, powered by cocaine. Later became Dr. Roxo, the rock and roll clown. He loves cocaine!
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, Dr. Light, now that we've completely demonetized this video by talking about drugs by name,
I don't know how I can really continue on with that one, so we'll move on.
It's okay. Yeah. Okay, if you want to talk about one that's underutilized, There's an actual comic panel. You've probably seen it of Spider-Man talking to Sauron or the guy that's a dinosaur. I can never remember his name, and it's Sauron's from Lord of the Rings. His name may actually be Sauron.
Orion?
I don't know, but he's a pterodactyl man. But anyway,
Okay.
it's he's talking about the thing that he's doing, and Spider-Man goes, "Well, wait a second. With technology like that, you could cure cancer, and you're turning people into dinosaurs." And dinosaur dude looks back, but I don't want to cure cancer. I want to turn people into dinosaurs. Like, you know what? If that's dedication right there to your cause. But instead of doing
Yeah,
this, you could do this, but I don't want to do that. I want to do that.
yeah. I mean, there's obviously some of that nefariousness. Like,
I don't want
if
to cure cancer. I want dinosaurs.
well, I mean, if you think about it, like, Doctor Fantastic, if he's so smart, why hasn't he cured cancer?
Oh, Mr. Fantastic, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Mr.
Well, I
Fantastic.
mean, especially with the Fantastic Four, he's looked into so much about how radiation has mutated them. Cancer cells are mutated cells that grow irregularly. You think
Right.
that would literally just be a small tangential thought to him to go from radiation, and even radiations can cause some cancers from one kind of cell mutation to another. He's multiple times in the comic, he's reverted them back to their normal selves, and then later, Deus Ex Machina, they have to become the Fantastic Four again. So he's proven that he can reverse irregular cell mutation and growth. Why has he not done this? Well, I mean, case in point, especially since this is kind of a relevant topic in the comics. Jane Foster, love of Thor, gets cancer. Mr. Fantastic could have fixed that, just saying, but that's none of my business.
There was a really big name superhero that they killed off in the Marvel comics because he died of cancer. I can't remember who it was though.
I mean, there have been a couple of them.
Yeah, but I'm saying it was like one of the larger one of the larger ones. But I mean, even if you look at some of the other superhero, I mean, even supervillains like Scarlet Witch, she made all the mutants disappear. Why couldn't she just say no more cancer?
Right? No more hatred against mutants.
Right. She has the ability to alter all of reality.
And his name is Sauron, by the way. Sauron.
Yeah, I looked it up.
Okay, yeah, because it was gonna bother me. But yeah, I mean, like Scarlet Witch. I mean, like oftentimes villain, but oftentimes hero. Like with the level of world altering she could do. Well, I mean, not even her. There's other characters like Franklin Richards, son of Mr. Fantastic Reed Richards. He is an Omega level reality warp. Like he literally, as a kid, was making small pocket dimensions for fun just to see if he could do it. Like as an adult, an alternate future version of him had Galactus as his herald. That's some power right there when you make Galactus your bitch.
Right.
He literally could have gone, all right, no more hate against mutants. All right, that's solved. No more war against the superheroes. That's solved. The Avengers won't be fighting the X-Men. There won't be another civil war. All right? All villains reformed. Boom, all the villains are now reformed for whatever their antagonistic reasons were. And again, it boils down to there needs to be some conflict. Without conflict, like if it's just a story about, if the Wolverine comics turn into what groceries is Wolverine going to pick up this week, nobody's going to read it. But it would be nice to see like a what if style story of what if like the Marvel comics. And I know we've mainly been touching on Marvel, but a what if style story of what if the Marvel comics universe perfect.
Yeah.
And don't have it be one of those like there's a twist halfway through of it's too perfect. No. I want to just see a perfect world where the mutants are just living in suburbia. Jean's a soccer mom. Professor X runs well,
he can't really run, so
I hate you so much. I hate you so much.
There, man.
But like he's running an actual school for gifted kids. I want to see that. I want to see Wolverine. Living out in the forest somewhere, hunting his food, like going out finding a deer. Just show me the mundane life of these heroes with no conflict. Don't give it a weird twist.
Welcome to Cooking with Wolverine. Today, I show you the perfect way to slice an avocado.
I would read that. And have it be even a 6-part series just showing if the world was perfect, what would these characters be doing? And I know stories have done that before, and I've said several times, don't have that weird twist of it's too perfect, or this character remembers how the world used to be before it was changed, so now we get in the story of why it changed. No, just set up the comic that it has always been that way. It always will be that way. There's no weird twist. There's no, machinations of villains. Just have it be like it's a normal world, you know?
Cyclops is just sitting as the beacon in a lighthouse. Just spin.
He's an old sea captain.
No, he's just the light in the lighthouse that just goes around in circles. Because let's admit it, Cyclops is terrible and everyone hates him.
Well, like the newer versions of Cyclops, like especially after they've since retconned it, since the statute of spoilers is up on this, since the death of Professor Xavier, like that whole storyline, that was like the most growth we have seen out of Cyclops ever. But I mean, like they've since then figured out how to actually use that character instead of it just being like, okay, like Captain America's example, he's the Boy Scout. He still has depth. Superman is the Boy Scout, but he still has depth to him. Cyclops was the Boy Scout, and that was it. That was his character, is he was the Boy Scout. They actually are starting to figure out, okay, we can do more with him other than him just being Professor X is right. We got to listen to what he says. This is for the good of all mutants. Like he's realized that some of the things that he was made to do may not necessarily have been in the best interest of mutants in as a whole, but might have been the best for the X-Men or the best for Charles. So it's interesting to kind of see how one man's ideals can be, somebody that, is incorruptible could still be in some ways corruptible. But I digress. I would like to see that as a what if series, even if it's a one shot. Have it just be the normal Monday stuff. I would love to see Wolverine as a cooking chef, and it's all stuff like he'll put in fancy ingredients, but it's typically like all the meat is all like game that he has hunted that day before the show. He's literally carting it in as they're getting ready to do makeup.
Well, that's just how they open the show. Is like he's walking in with a boar carcass.
Welcome to Cooking with Wolverine. Today we're cooking boar.
It's an hour-long show. The first half is just him field dressing a boar carcass. And then the second half is him actually cooking with it.
Why do I feel like that show would premiere before like Duck Dynasty or something?
He's shirtless, his face is just covered in blood, and he's just like deftly slicing onions.
With one claw, just
that's totally it. Like he just has one claw, and he's just you see him just sitting there Julian onion.
Accidentally cuts a finger, and it just immediately just. All right, well that was inconvenient.
Right.
Don't worry about cutting yourself. I don't.
Exactly. You should only do this if you're a trained professional or a mutant.
Exactly. Okay, going off that, what would Deadpool be doing? Because in a perfect, actually, he wouldn't be doing anything. Because in a perfect world, he wouldn't have had cancer. He would have never became Deadpool. It would have just been the normal life of Wade Wilson. What would he be doing? It's just a normal dude that never got to experience any of that. Stand-up comedian.
Yeah,
or running a food truck in New York. I don't know why those two make sense to me, but they both do.
Chimichanga!
There we go! He runs a taco truck. Perfect. That one's almost too on the nose, though.
Yeah, but
it still works. For Deadpool, though, that works.
Yeah, but he changes the menu every, 3 days.
Oh, wait, were you a taco truck on Monday? Yeah, we do pizza now. Oh, okay. Goes back a few days later. All right, get your donuts. What happened to the pizza? We don't do pizza. What? And people would still go there, though.
Talked to you 2 days ago. I don't know what you're talking about. We've never done pizza. He just does that kind of stuff to screw with them.
I might drink in my nose. Oh, my God. Oh God.
He goes to Forge's garage, and Forge has like a contraption that repaints the food.
He just does body wraps for his cars.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's like every 3 days it changes into something else. Completely new design.
That would be great. But he always has the same uniform on.
Yes.
Because you got to keep that consistent from comics. The uniform always has to look the same. Wolverine wears the same apron every cooking show, still smattered in blood.
Yeah, exactly. Why do I feel like that if Deadpool was that, like Wade Wilson was that, he would look like Randall from Clerks?
And he would have the same, I'm not even supposed to be here today. Don't you own this? Yeah.
Well, that was Dante, but yes.
Well, I know, but still.
Yeah, no.
He would be Randall from Clerks. Well, like they made a joke in one of the Deadpool comics. It may have been before the movie came out, but like he had gotten cured of the cancer, so his body like healed back to normal. And somebody goes, "Man, you look a lot like Ryan Reynolds." And he goes, I used to get that all the time. So.
Yep, that's pretty on point. Oh man, that would be.
Or okay, if we're gonna go back to the original topic of like underutilized abilities, like okay, jumping ship from Marvel to something completely different, the Transformers universe. I mean, like, apart from it putting like people in theory out of jobs, why aren't the Autobots helping with the shipping industry? Because think about it. If you've got, let's say, Optimus Prime as an example, as your semi truck, as a driver, you could drive, drive during the day. You make sure that Optimus knows where he's going. You make sure that everything's fine at the load. You check in where you need to. At night, when you start dozing off, if it catches up to you, Optimus just takes over. 24/7 shipping, no gasoline or diesel cost. And admittedly, Transformers, even in their vehicle modes, are quite a bit more powerful than normal vehicles of that. They could haul more, and that's just one Autobot as an example. I mean, that would fuel crisis solved. I mean, we'd have to figure out how to get more energon, but so much for gas prices. I mean, maybe that's just wishful thinking looking at the gas prices today, which are finally starting to drop. But, dude,
yeah, no, I mean,
Autobot destruction derbies. I mean, that's effectively gladiatorial combat for them.
Yeah.
So maybe not that one. Maybe not that one.
Yeah, there's probably something against making sentient beings work a 24-hour shift. Like, do the Cybertronians sleep?
Like, they have to like refuel on energon, but like they don't have to sleep per se. Like, I mean, they can shut down. Like, if like, all right, well, it's gonna be 47 hours. Okay, I'm gonna go on to shutdown because they don't want to be bored for 47 hours. But I mean, they don't. As far as I know, they don't need to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I guess it's not really assuming they don't need to sleep. I guess it's not inhumane to not make them do the thing they don't have to do.
Yeah, no, I could see that.
Yeah.
Huh.
It makes you think. I mean, again, like if the mundane life of Optimus Prime, he's just a trucker. When he transforms, instead of having the big helmet, he just has a metallic trucker hat. Go for big red leader of the Autobot convoy.
It's actually a Metallica hat.
It just says metal in the Metallica font.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Metal.
I can see that. In metal.
Yeah. I could totally see Megatron being one of those automated like shopping cart retrievers.
He's an Amazon drone.
Yes.
He still has to be kind of evil.
Right. He's an Amazon drone. So he takes your packages, but he always drops them like
shoots it at your
window.
door.
Like
puts it in his cannon, shoots it at your door.
Right.
Your package has been delivered.
Soundwave would be a DJ.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah. Except he'd have a rivalry with the other with Blaster, the other DJ in town.
Right.
They'd both be radio DJs on competing stations.
Yes. Yeah.
I can see that. I can see that. I like how this went from powers that aren't utilized to what would characters do if there was no conflict.
Well, I mean, if there was no conflict, Hank Pym might actually be a decent human being.
Oh, deep cut, but true. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say Thor, but we already kind of got that during Marvel's What If when it was Party Boy Thor, because like that's what he would do. He would just party on planet Earth.
Right, pretty much. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, then you also like talk about the rich superheroes, right? It's like I'm gonna spend billions of dollars on a technomechanical suit. I'm not gonna worry about that whole world hunger thing. Yeah, screw that.
Right. Well, I mean, they kind of did that. I mean, I assume you're talking about Iron Man. They kind of did that in oh god, what was that comic series? Axis, where like a lot of the heroes and villains had their personalities inverted. So like Iron Man kind of turned back into his younger Tony Stark days, where he was all about himself. He would drink all the time, he would party all the time, and he used his technology specifically to make money. Like the Extremis. He took that when he was inverted. He took that and actually monetized it into an app that would create nanites that you could literally be the perfect version of yourself, like the perfect weight you wanted, the perfect body type, your eye color would change, your hair would grow back. But it was like I'll say I would be able to grow a beard. Love you, Ian. But and it was, he kind of did it the drug dealer way. Well, try the demo of the app. It's free. And then people would get like so enamored with how perfect they were. As soon as it wore off, like to buy the app was some exorbitantly high price as a reoccurring subscription. So I mean, like he was charging people just out the arm, out the arm. Wow, charging people an arm and a leg out the ass to continue to be perfect. An arm out the ass. No, that's what Ant-Man did to Thanos.
Suddenly arm.
But like yeah, I mean it's again, somebody like with the resources, the financial resources of Tony Stark, between him and Reed Richards, there should be fully sustainable crops and food sources for people. There should be, like, most diseases should be gone, but they just don't.
I was just a funny thought hit me in the whole like mundane lives of superheroes.
Reed Richards would just be a high school science teacher.
He would be Mr. Sewell.
Oh my God, he would be. That explains so much, actually.
Yes, it does. No, I was just thinking like the mundane life. Scott Lang's plumbing business.
Oh God, he can really get in there and clear that out for you.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, like so many, like I'm sitting here now thinking that now that we made that joke about high school science teacher, I'm sitting here going, there would be a surplus of high school and college level like science teachers. Reed Richards, Dr. Octopus, like Norman Osborn would go back to running his business and not, being insane and trying to kill a teenager. But like so many of the villains are Dr. Whatever, Professor Whatever. There would just be a surplus of education in this world. That's where the conflict is. The unemployment issue amongst educators. That would be there's the conflict right there. Marvel, write me a check. I'm cheap.
There you go. There you go. We've just found the next major comic arc.
Here we go.
Mr. Dr. Richards, what do you have your PhD in exactly?
Yes.
Interpretive dance.
Interpretive.
Yes.
Spaghetti Man.
Every Saturday he does a one-man show at the local theater.
Shadow puppets.
Yes.
Doctor Doom is not only the leader of his country, he's their leading surgeon. The healthcare system in Latveria is perfect.
Dr. Doomenschmerz.
Dr. Doomenschmerz. Oh my God.
Oh man. Yeah, so this one's been kind of fun for us, but I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up. We're about right at time. If you guys can think of any of your own fun or interesting uses of powers, whether they be mundane or
extraordinary,
abusive power or extraordinary, feel free to leave us a note or a comment on our Facebook page, social media, whatever you want.
This has been one of the more fun ones we've done in a while, honestly.
Yes, I would say so. Oh man, gotta get back on Zen. Focus. Goose fraba. Goose crackers. Anyway, so yes, thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate you tuning in and listening. As always, thank you to our sponsor, Anchor.fm. You can
I don't know if they're going to sponsor this one.
Probably not. Maybe we should cut out the whole bit about the superhero powered by illicit substances.
No, it's staying in for posterity. For prostatery.
For prostatery?
Yes.
Fair enough. Maybe Dr. Doomfist. I hope he's not a proctologist.
Oh no. Wee fisto. Anyway, so thank you, Anchor.
Yes, thank you, Anchor. You can also catch us on our social media, Facebook.com/non-sequitur-nerds, Twitter @non-sequitur-nerd, and Twitch.tv/non-sequitur-nerds. As always, you can find us, the recorded podcasts out there, as well as the videos out on YouTube at youtube.com/non-sequitur-nerds.
We're there.
So with that, I think we'll go ahead and sign off for tonight. If we can stop giggling like school children thinking about weird random abuses of superpowers. Oh man. Oh jeez. Yes. All right. Well, thank you again, and I think we'll go ahead and sign off. So as always, for the Non Sequitur Nerds, I'm Ian.
And I'm Tim. Night, everybody.